Greetings again, my fellow hunters, and welcome to the penultimate edition of How to Skewer Changing Breeds That You Don't Like. Or whatever you're calling this. Now, today we're going to look at two quite interesting and varied challenges. The Nuwisha, the were coyotes, and the Ratkin, the were, well, I think you can guess what they are. Anyway, first with the Nuwisha. Very unusual shapeshifters. They don't have any rage or any fury, so you can't goad them into action. It makes them much slower in combat, so they're not quite as likely to dish out, though they're still very resilient themselves. And they're immune to silver. But they're not immune to silver. You stick a silver blade into them, they're still going to go ow and then hit you. But they don't have the vulnerability of other shapeshifters. So this is probably connected with the lack of rage. I haven't done extensive experiments. But, so coyote, what does that make you think of? Apart from Roadrunner cartoons. Yes. But anyway, thinks of tricksters. They are cunning tricksters. And tricksters not just in the sense of pratfalls, but tricksters as in you are literally left holding a stick of dynamite while the coyote rushes off, giggling. And no, you will not be coming back after that explosion. They know the ways of the spirit world and the Umbra, and they travel there much more than other shifters. And what you have to be careful of when hunting them is they're strong. They lack of rage, but they're still pretty endurant and resistant and all that stuff. But you have to be sure that you're not the one being played, because they take the initiative. They don't lie back, content in their superiority or misunderstanding the world around them. You have to be very sure that when you're carefully setting up every parameters of your trap, that it's not you who's in the trap. I mean, if we go for some of my favorite anti-guru tactics, the mortars that are shooting on the various key points, it wouldn't, if I did the same thing on a Nuwisha, I would not be surprised to learn that someone had just tilted my mortars to point in a different direction back towards my home. You can never be confident that they don't know you. That's what makes them hunting them so interesting. You can turn. You might be perfectly fine. Your trap might work. Your techniques might work. Or it might just be, oops, everything's terrible, I'm about to die. Then you have the other part of hunting, the running away swiftly part. And you return another day, believe me. You have to return. You can't let anyone get away with that. But that is the challenge of the Nuwisha. It's challenging your brain against an opponent, a lone opponent, solitary. That's an advantage you have. Solitary opponent of comparable, not so much intellect, but potentially of knowledge and trickiness and initiative. Yes, I think it all comes down to that word, initiative. The coyotes will hunt you. Maybe before you even realize it, maybe before you've even heard of them. So that's the challenge with them. And the Ratkin. And the Nizumi, if you want to be pretentious and Eastern. Well, they're actually quite different. Oh yeah, I should have mentioned this a long time ago. There's things called the beast courts in the so-called Eastern countries, where basically the shifters realize that kind of being idiots fighting each other all the time, so they formed out into so-called beast courts, which have their own politics, which basically means it's really hard to pick out one of them one by one because they're all connected with each other, and the infernal kitsune are everywhere. So, but let's lay aside the Nizumi. They're less interesting, they're more civilized, they're more intellectual. Think of them as sort of mini kitsune, and that's how you deal with them. Dumber, less influential, but still a moderately frightening kitsune. The ratkin in the rest of the world, on the other hand, are, well, suppose a young hunter came up to me, she looked at me with admiration, as one does, and said, "Tell me, sensei, how could I kill a ratkin?" Then I would go, ho, 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 ho. And 3 days later, when I stopped laughing, I would say, "Oh, my darling child, a ratkin?" Because that's the fearsome things about them. They are innumerable. They are a pestilence. They're almost as bad as humanity itself. They breed on rat cycles. They spread everywhere. They are they're filled with mindless violence. They hate humanity. They want to destroy it. Actually, there's a kind of thought out process that humanity is mainly a creature of the weaver, and as anyone who actually has a tiny bit of intellect should realize, the real villain in the story is not the worm, it's the weaver. Well, it's not the... Okay, the worm's a villain, but the worm's a villain that can't win, if you want. Can do a lot of destruction. Whoopee. The destroyers don't last unless they have organization behind them, unless they have plans, unless they have competence, and the weaver has that in abundance. So the ratkin realized that the weaver and their servants, humanity, are probably just as much a threat as the worm. I just think they just cooked up an excuse because they hate humanity and they want to destroy it, and they're getting pretty good at it. They spread disease, very good at disease. Biological warfare, if you want to use modern terms. They spread terror. They do hit and run tactics. You can take down one ratkin, not too difficulty, but there'll be many, many others around it. So, how to fight them? Well, first of all, their propensity to violence and anarchy makes them very disorganized. Did I say there's going to be many around them? Yes, but it means that even though they're innumerable, if you just get one group, the group may hang together, but they're not going to pass your name on to other groups. And the whole ratkin nation is not going to come down at you. So the groups are more manageable. Other things, if you can kill, say, one of them, or maybe even the leader of the group, pick one you want, with an impressive and overwhelming demonstration of force, the others will go. They'll flee. They may be numerous, but they're not suicidal. They're cowards, and they're rational cowards. And if they see a fight that they can't win and are just going to hurt, they will not do that fight. Use that against them. Always have a demonstration of massive strength. And your information networks are probably better if you do them from outside. All the rats are going to know everything that's going on in one block of a city, maybe, and the rats from the next block will know everything's going on in that one. But since they don't cooperate much, if you can be 3 blocks away and spy on this thing from there, the ratkin around you will know what you're doing, but won't tip off the other ones. So you can definitely get a better information flow if you do it that way. Then, as I said, go for it. Demonstration of force. Kill some. Their pelts are barely worth having, just maybe for completionists in the collection. In any case, stay murderous, my friends. Stay murderous. And we'll conclude next time with a look at the Rokia, the were sharks, and maybe some of the extinct breeds. Why should I tell you how to hunt extinct breeds? Well, may come in handy. You'll see.